diplomats left for Pyongyang. School closure based on risk assessment. Hello there, I'm Cynthia Arthur. You're watching News at 10. All North Korean diplomatic staff and their dependents in Malaysia left for home today following Pyongyang's decision on Friday to sever ties with Kuala Lumpur. The 33 people, including several children, arrived at the KL International Airport, KLIA, in Sepang at about 11:45 a.m. Their flight to Pudong, China via Shanghai Airlines flight FM 886 safely left at 4:56 p.m. and then transit in Beijing before continuing their journey to their home country. Following North Korea's decision to break off diplomatic relations with Malaysia, Wisma Putra issued instructions for the embassy, staff and their dependents to leave Kuala Lumpur within 48 hours. Pyongyang announced on Friday that it was severing diplomatic relations with Malaysia after a Malaysian court earlier this month ruled that North Korean businessmen could be extradited to the United States to face money laundering charges. Wisma Putra, in a statement on the same day, said it deeply regretted North Korea's decision and that in turn Malaysia will close its Pyongyang embassy, the operations of which were suspended in 2017. Malaysia and North Korea established ties way back in 1973. The relations saw notable achievements in the diplomatic and trade fronts up to 2017 when Kim Jong-nam, the half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, was assassinated in Malaysia. The group of diplomats and their family members whom departed on a bus arrived later at KLIA in Sepang. They then loaded stacks of luggages onto trolleys and went to check in at the counters used by regular passengers. An airport security official, speaking anonymously, said that about 30 North Koreans were scheduled to fly to Shanghai. Pyongyang's decision to cut ties came after a visit last week by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin to South Korea, part of an Asian tour to rally support against the nuclear-armed North and China. Malaysia denounced Pyongyang's move to sever ties as unfriendly and unconstructive. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein said the expulsion of all diplomats of the North Korean embassy has been carried out in conformity with Article 9 of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations 1961. In a statement today, he said the Malaysian government has to resort to taking this action in response to the North Korea's unilateral and utterly irresponsible decision to sever diplomatic ties with Malaysia. He said the action by the government was necessary in order to protect Malaysia's sovereignty and safeguard national interest. District health offices nationwide have the ability to conduct risk assessment on any schools should a positive COVID-19 case is detected among students, teachers or administrative personnel. Senior Education Minister Dr. Radzi Jidin said, as such, the Education Ministry will not hastily order the closure of any schools. He said the ministry will be working closely with district health officers in every state, and any decision to close a school or only a part of it will depend on the level of seriousness of the outbreak.
Kaedah kita sekarang ini berdasarkan maklumat-maklumat dan analisa yang ada. Jadi itulah yang kita mohon supaya semua pihak kita dapat fahami bahawa kita bekerja rapat. They are the professional. Dan mereka tahu, mereka faham keadaannya dan kita terima nasihat PKD, kita akan lihat dalam konteks tersebut. Kalau PKD kata okey berdasarkan analisa, melihatkan pergerakan sebagai contoh, melihatkan murid pergerakan dan sebagainya, perlu ditutup bangunan ini. Maka itulah keputusan kami untuk menutup bangunan tersebut.
Previously, the Kedah Health Department ordered the closure of Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Bukit Jenun from 18th of March after a teacher tested positive for COVID-19. Communications and Multimedia Malaysia KKMM Minister Dato' Saifuddin Abdullah has expressed his intention to take the COVID-19 vaccine together with media practitioners. However, he said he is still waiting for the vaccination date to be fixed by the COVID-19 Vaccine Supply Access Guarantee Special Committee.
Saya tak tahu bila lagi. Ya, saya difahamkan sebab kita minta supaya wartawan dan kru lah semua dimasukkan juga dalam frontliners. Saya difahamkan oleh saudara KJ dan Dr. Adham, dia kata tak bolehlah nak masuk dalam senarai the first group of frontliners. Ya, mereka berusaha kalau wartawan juga dapat didahulukan, tapi bukanlah sama dengan frontliners. KJ dan Adham faham bahawa wartawan dan cameraman dan fotografer semua turun padang lebih kurang bertemu dengan orang ramai.
He was met after attending the Jelajah Malaysia Prihatin program at the Urban Transformation Centre UTC in Sentul today. Meanwhile, Dato' Saifuddin said the encouragement for the public to watch movies and support the local film industry was not merely for entertainment, but also to help ensure the survival of the industry players. The minister said he realized that there were some quarters who criticized the suggestion, but currently there were 30,000 individuals who rely solely on income from filming activities, 5,000 employees in cinemas, and 10,000 individuals involved in the music industry.
Jadi saya harap rakyat faham apabila saya kata sokong filem tempatan, pergi tengok wayang, ini bukan soal hiburan. Pada kita hiburan, tapi pada mereka itu punca pendapatan. Jadi kalau aktiviti itu terhenti, mereka sangat menderita.
A total of 413,255 individuals have received their COVID-19 vaccine as of yesterday under the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, PICK. Health Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Adam Baba explained that out of the total, 402,650 individuals received the first dose of the vaccine, while 10,605 individuals had completed the full vaccination regimen. The three states recorded the highest number of individuals who have received the first dose of the vaccine, namely Selangor 52,971, Perak 48,136 and Sabah 40,134. Sarawak recorded the highest number of individuals who have completed the full vaccination regimen at 4,848, followed by Pahang 2,549, Perak 713, Sabah 591, Kuala Lumpur with 565, Selangor 369 and Pulau Pinang 328. Under the national immunization exercise, the first phase of vaccination from February to April is for 500,000 frontliners, including healthcare workers. The second phase, from April to August, will cover 9.4 million people from the high-risk groups, including senior citizens aged 60 and above, and those with morbidity problems such as heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure, as well as persons with disabilities, PWD. For the third phase of the program, from May this year to February 2022, it covers those aged 18 and above, targeting about 14 million individuals. Meanwhile, the number of active COVID-19 cases currently stands at 14,518. This comes after 1,327 new infections and 1,247 recoveries were reported in the last 24 hours. In a statement, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said Selangor tops the number of fresh infections by state with 356 new cases, followed by Sarawak with 276 and Pulau Pinang with 205. He said there are 154 patients currently being treated in the ICU, with 65 of them requiring ventilator support. The Health Director General also reported that the death toll rose to 1,233 after 4 new deaths registered today. Meanwhile, the number of active COVID-19 clusters stands at 416 after 10 declared as inactive and 5 new ones emerged nationwide. For the record, a total of 881 clusters have been declared inactive since the outbreak began in the country last year. Coming up next, no need for RCI to probe IGP's claims. There is no need to form a Royal Commission of Inquiry (RCI) to investigate the claim by the Inspector General of Police, Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Badur, on the existence of a cartel seeking to bring him down and control the police force. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Taqiyuddin Hassan, said the matter can be resolved through the Police Force Commission (SPP).
Itu masalah dalaman yang boleh dikendalikan oleh Suruhanjaya Perkhidmatan Polis. Dia SPP. Polis ni dia ada SPP ya, yang dipengerusikan oleh Menteri dan IGP pun adalah ahlinya. Saya rasa tidak ada masalah yang besar lah untuk menyelesaikan.
Maknanya boleh kita selalu ikut SPP?
Ya, SPP boleh menyelesaikan semua masalah polis dan pejawatan dan perkhidmatan dan sebagainya.
The minister was met after attending the Malaysia Prihatin program in Kota Baru. Tan Sri Abdul Hamid, in a recent interview, revealed that certain junior officers within the force were maneuvering to topple him. He had alleged the movement was also the same group that led a cartel within the force aiming to dominate the nation's security force to further their own agenda. A government pensioner was charged in Pasir Mas Sessions Court today with 8 counts of money laundering involving a total of 753,220 ringgit allegedly from smuggling of elephant tusks. Matnawi Abdul Aziz, 70, who is a former school clerk, however, pleaded not guilty to all the charges before Judge Muhammad Rosli Muhammad Nawi. Of the 8 charges, 3 were for concealing a total of 409,960 ringgit believed from ill-gotten gains in his CIMB bank account between January 2017 and December 2019. 3 other charges were for obtaining 239,260 ringgit believed from unlawful activities that were deposited into his CIMB account over the same period. He was also charged with 2 accounts of possessing 104,000 units of Permodalan Nasional Berhad shares allegedly bought with proceeds from unlawful activities over the same period. All the charges were framed under Section 4, Subsection 1, Subsection B of the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. He was allowed bail of 70,000 ringgit with 1 surety, and the court set April 22nd for mention. The Department of Veterinary Services, DVS, has denied the presence of Salmonella enteritidis SE bacteria in the CES008 eggs belonging to Lei Hong Berhad's farm, which were recalled by Singapore Food Agency SFA a week ago. This comes after the department conducted investigations and tested swab samples of cloaca and fecal smears, eggs, food and drinks from the farm at its Salak Tinggi DSV laboratory. In a statement today, DVS said it would hold further discussions with the SFA regarding the matter, adding that it had also conducted investigations of and taken samplings from the CEM014 farm to test for SE. The statement said DVS, through the National Animal Disease Control Program, will enhance the Salmonella monitoring program at all 276 layer farms nationwide to ensure the supply and safety of marketed eggs. It said SE contamination occurred almost all over the world and that it could happen at the farm due to poor farming practices in terms of biosecurity and hygiene. DVS said SE can be destroyed at temperatures above 71 degrees Celsius, and consumers are advised to ensure that the eggs purchased are clean, free of fecal contamination, stored in a suitable place and cooked properly before consumption. The Transport Ministry (MOT) is planning to extend the grace period for renewal of motor vehicle license or road tax for another 2 months. However, according to its minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Wee Ka Siong, this extension is only for private vehicles, provided that the vehicle still had valid insurance coverage. The minister said this extension would give the Road Transport Department (JPJ) ample time to resolve any outstanding matters following the implementation of Movement Control Order (MCO). He said an announcement regarding the matter would be made next week after further discussion with JPJ. On 29th January, the ministry had announced the exemption for road tax and driving license renewal from the 1st of February until 31st of March to limit the operational of JPJ's counter services during the MCO. Meanwhile, the minister stressed that stern action should be taken against any JPJ officers and personnel involved in corruption, thus cleaning the agency's name.
Bukan melindungi sesiapa, biar siasatan dijalankan oleh pihak yang kompeten, mereka akan menentukan kesahihan sesuatu aduan. Kalau ada kebenarannya, maka kita biarkan SPRM ambil tindakan.
Yesterday, Perlis JPJ Deputy Director was remanded for 2 days to assist in investigation over allegedly receiving bribes and protecting lorry drivers who committed traffic offences. In other news, the Malaysian Forestry policy launched today will witness all states coming together on the country's forest, which is now 120 million years old. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said all states have agreed to adopt the policy, which outlines a clear direction for the forestry sector in facing new challenges at domestic and international levels.
Saya ingin tekankan bahawa dasar perhutanan Malaysia ini adalah dasar kita bersama. Kita semua harus bertindak dan memainkan peranan yang lebih aktif sebagai ejen konservasi dan penggerak pembangunan sosio-ekonomi negara. Dan saya berharap agar usaha bersama Kerajaan Persekutuan dan Kerajaan Negeri dalam melaksanakan ke-5 objektif dasar perhutanan Malaysia akan terus padu bagi mencapai sasaran yang telah dihasratkan.
Tan Sri Muhyiddin said this when launching the Malaysian Forestry policy in conjunction with the 2021 National Level International Day of Forests today. The Prime Minister said the country had 55.3% or 18.27 million hectares of forested area and 3 cover as of 2018. This percentage is higher than most European countries, and of the total forested area in Malaysia, only 1.7% has seen degradation. Despite this, he said, the government is still committed to responsible and sustainable forest management in implementing restoration programs. He added a total of 34.5 million ringgit has been provided this year for the restoration of degradation of forests throughout the country. That's it from us this evening. In our top story, North Korean diplomats left for Pyongyang. Join us for updates at noon at 12:30 tomorrow. I'm Cynthia Arthur. Thank you for watching.